we are continuing the data types. These are the standard data types. For example, integer, character, float, double. Integer, there are two types: short int, long int. What are the data types? Meaning you want to define some value in a variable, like numbers or strings. Like integer will have all the numbers, And the main part of the C language, the strength of C language is the storage or memory, how we store the data. We have to consume the less amount of storage for a lot of data. That is the trick. As you start programming, you'll learn by example, So for example, if you declare an int, it takes 2 bytes of data, part of the memory storage. Character is 1 byte. Short int, 2 bytes. Long int, 4 bytes. When we come to character, then float is a part of the number system. It's decimal, so it takes 4 bytes for one word. It's a floating point number, like the 91.53. That's a floating point number. If you take this part, 91 is the integer part, 53 is the fractional part. We call it decimal. Exponents, 1000.75. That's a floating point number. Double is actually the double of the float, so 8 bytes is 2 words. Double precision floating point. Most complicated calculations they use the double. But for most of the reasons, we just use usually int, short int, long int, or the characters. Examples of characters: strings are hello, learn. Examples of the whole numbers are 42, 71,000. So we'll go step by step in learning the C language. Bye. Hi, today we'll talk about more of the C language basics. Today we'll talk about the different types of data. We know decimal data, binary data. Binaries are zeros and ones. 0 is off, 1 is on. And we'll talk about the octal data type, 0 to 7. And hexadecimal is a mixture of the alphabets and numbers, 16 characters length. We'll go in detail about all the data types today. Hexadecimal, we store it in the integer. It begins with the 0x or OX. It's a combination of numbers or characters, uppercase or lowercase. Examples: OX, OX5, OX9EE. These are hexadecimal data which are stored in the computers. Inside the computer, it's all assembly language statements, and it's all zeros and ones through these data. Some of the decimal examples we can see here, like 6000L means long. 1234U means unsigned integers. These are different types of integers. 10156UL is unsigned long. It's pretty lengthy data. And here we can see A to F. It has up to 16 digits from 0 to 9, and A to F, a mixture of digits. A is represented by 1, 0, B is 11, C is 12, D, E, F. So mixture of all this. That's the example we showed here. E means it's number 13, you have to figure that out. 14 actually. So this is all about hexadecimal data. Next we'll talk about octal data. It's from 0 to 7. So 8 digits. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, L, that's long. UL is unsigned long. Same like the hexadecimal. Next we'll talk about a character called escape sequence. It's sometimes we have to use like a backslash inside the program, but backslash has a different meaning in C. So to override that one, we use like another backslash. For example, backslash n means it's a new line. An apostrophe we used when storing the string in the characters. Next we'll move to the floating point numbers examples. We know integers 100, 1000, 10,000. Floating point numbers are decimal numbers with exponents. Some examples: 0 dot. 0 dot is a floating point number because it has a dot, decimal. 0 is, we'll say, integer or whole number, numbers, integers. 5 dot, these are different examples of floating point numbers. 5 decimal place, 0.8, 732.23, 200 decimal place, 0.0012, 8.356. 5e-6 means e is exponent. Exponent is a floating data type or double. So 5e6 means 5 times 10 to the power 6. And 0.00e5 means 0.00 times multiplied by 10 to the power 5. And another example is point, see 0 is missing, but it means it's decimal. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are other examples. The same number 7 into 10 to the power 4 can be expressed in different ways. These are all the same number. You can see how many 10 different ways you can express this number. That's the power of C language. See 70,000 dot or 7e4, 7 times 10 to the power 4, or 7e plus 4, 7e4. So C is so flexible, you can different notations for the same number. 0.7e5, 0.7e5. They added 5 here because they put a dot here, so it has to move one place on the right. So it becomes a 5 on here. 70e5, 70.e4, 700e3. Next we'll talk about the ASCII. ASCII means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. All the characters, numbers are represented inside the computer. Each one has a value. When you say A, the character, its number is 65 is the ASCII value. Number 3 is 51. There is a whole table with different, what are the values, what are the integers or characters and the corresponding ASCII data types. So this is how the data is handled in C language. We'll move on to the next lesson to learn about the escape sequences. We'll take a break.